Are you that type of guy where, or girl, where you watch one self-improvement video and in your head you get a piece of paper and you start writing down all these tasks that you want to do per day: meditation, journaling, nofap, exercise, getting your work done. You write down all of this, you go to sleep, you wake up the next day and you just can't do it. You just can't pull yourself to do it. You can barely even get out of bed and you just struggle. This is one thing which I'm going to be talking about, which is you should take into every aspect of life, and that is progressive overload. Progressive overload it comes from a gym term mainly. It's basically once you got to a certain peak, like your max lift on bench press was 100 kg, and to progressively overload, you do 80% of that for 12 reps. And the way how you progressively overload is on 80 kg, which is 80% of 100 kg. You do that for 12, and then to progressively overload, you'd add a little increment every single time, like 1.25 kilos. That's the same with life. That's the same with life. You're not going to start off your self-improvement journey and bettering yourself journey by just going from 0 to 100 straight away. That's never going to happen. I remember when I first started self-improvement and I did the exact same thing, what I said. I watched one self-improvement video. I made a list of 20 things to do per day, and I failed within 2 days, and I was back to square one of doing all the same bad habits, bad shit that I did. I want to give you some advice on how to take action to beginning your self-improvement journey and doing it as best as you can to stay consistent. The first thing I want to talk about is actually starting the journey, starting your self-improvement journey. You don't want to start off by making a list. There's two ways you can go about this. You can either focus mainly on just stopping the bad habits. So focus purely, don't add any good habits, just focus on stopping the bad habits first before you implement good habits. Or the second way you could do it is one by one, you swap a bad habit with a good habit, and that's that. So let's say your bad habit is vaping. You want to stop vaping and you also want to start meditating. Swap vaping out with meditating and just do that. Don't change don't get rid of all your bad habits. Just focus mainly on vaping and then swap it with meditation and focus on doing that for a good consistent amount of time until you think that you can start getting rid of other bad habits and swapping them out. Or going back to the other analogy of just getting rid of bad habits, once you feel like you are over a bad habit and you are ready to get rid of another one and you feel confident in doing it, you get rid of another one. And then once you're out of your bad habits, you start implementing good habits to do one by one. I recommend if you're trying to get over a bad habit, you give it like a week to 4 weeks of really trying to get it out of your brain to do it. Focus on just completely eliminating the bad habit on one of the bad habits. Because you're never going to just go from 0 to 100. You've got to baby steps. I explained it perfectly when I was having a conversation with my dad. And I was telling him, you can't build a wall with... So let's say you apply all the mortar down and you've got one wall here, one wall here, one wall here, one wall here. So it's like a full room. You're never going to build that full room of just building one wall all the way up and forgetting about all the other three. You've got to create the foundation strong, brick by brick, going around everywhere, creating a strong foundation, which is getting rid of the bad habits or implementing one for one, which is the start of your journey. You're supplying the foundation. Because one thing which I have came to realize is that I've been doing self-improvement properly for about like a year or two, and it's only been till about six months ago where I've actually started to raising the levels, start doing more per day, and like increasing my workload to a point where I'm comfortable in my mind physically, and I can actually do the stuff that I set out to do. And that's by creating a strong foundation, brick by brick. You just place one brick at a time all the way around, and then that's the foundation. And once you've built that foundation, you can start layering another wall, and it just keeps going up and up and up, and that's the path to success. You never see these YouTubers like Iman Gadzhi, Hamza, and Andrew Tate. You never see them just going one wall all the way up and then they're perfectly fine. They can do everything. You've got to build 4 walls, brick by brick, layer by layer, all the way up until you reach success. Because what's going to happen if you build a big wall going all the way up, just one of them, it's just going to come smashing down because there's no foundation to support it. What you've got to do, layer by layer, create that foundation, and that way you will achieve way more in a longer amount of time, more sustainably, and you'll mentally be able to do it, and physically you will feel better. This is my video on progression overload. It's a short one today because I think this is what, look at my videos beforehand. I try and do so many points one by one, and I'll tell you what, editing those videos, there were so many cuts, there's so many awkward parts, I'd lose my point a lot because I was trying to jump the gun. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm just taking one point at a time, and I'm just building up slowly until I can start implementing 2 points per video, and then I can do, in a month times, 3 points per video. This is how it's going to be done from now on. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something from this video. This is all I'm here to do.